This is Big Boy Brown. We got Steady, we got Boom, we got Merc back at you with the Other Controller podcast. A whole shitload of shit to start this stuff up. We got Apex to talk about. We got Borderlands 3. We got Breakpoint. We got Call of Duty. Who wants to go first? What do we want to talk about first, boys?
Let's talk about that Call of Duty beta, the beta, and also like everything that was announced with the timed exclusive stuff that's going on.
So I was watching, because I watch gaming news pretty much every day, every morning before I go to work. And one thing that came up, because I was super hyped about the Call of Duty beta, is that there's going to be a timed exclusive because PlayStation has some type of deal with the Call of Duty franchise. And they get all of the DLC first. They get like longer beta time, if I'm not mistaken. And they're going to have a survival mode for Spec Ops that's going to be timed exclusive for a year. And I kind of wanted to expand on that because what I'm wondering is with timed exclusives and cross-plat, I feel like that's going to help sell consoles. Not so much selling computers or like gaming PC components, but I feel like it's going to help sell consoles because now it's at kind of a level playing field because everybody can play on their choice. Now it's just, are you more into a certain game? So you want to get the timed exclusives on that console. So instead of having to sacrifice playing with your friends, you can buy the console that has timed exclusive and deals with brands and stuff like that. I just wanted to know what do you guys think about that?
I mean, when it comes to me personally, a decision for buying a console has always been what kind of exclusives are known with this console, what kind of exclusives have already been announced when they announced the release date for the console. It's never been, I got to get this console based on the content that I'm going to be getting for said game later on down the line. Like, COD has always been get it on your platform because it's a multi-platform game. And now that there's cross-plat, which really fucking played well during the beta, you can now see it's like, all right, what lengths are company going to go through to start trying to get people to buy an Xbox or a PlayStation or a PC, and a year length on exclusive content, I think is a bit bullshitty. That's way too fucking long for gameplay to be held exclusive for a certain platform.
I definitely agree. But on the other side of it, I think it's a strong fucking move by Sony. Dickhead move, but strong fucking move. I think they're going to move a little bit more of what they can, what's left of the stock of PlayStation 4s, because we are at the end of the life cycle.
It is a bold move, but I don't know, like, it just feels like, yes, it's loud, it's bold, but I don't see it like, not that it's a good decision or a bad decision, it's just a really fucking weird decision. And I know a lot of people are really pissed off about it, but they're offsetting it with the fact is that they're still getting the game and they're still getting everything. It's just this one version of that game mode is going to be held off for an entire fucking year. It's just really weird to hold something off for that long. Like, I don't know anybody that would go out and buy a PlayStation because you get the survival version of this Spec Ops mode for a year. Like, it's a mode within a mode, only on PlayStation. Is that worth like $300?
Does he even give you anything? Like, does he give you different skins or something like that? Or do we know anything like that?
It's just a different game mode, and you get DLCs earlier. Like, I don't remember, or I don't know if you guys remember during the Xbox 360 days how Xbox got the DLCs like a week or two in advance than the PlayStation side.
Right, and as stupid as even that shit was, that was still easier to digest and move on rather than 12 months. A lot of comments on Twitter were funny. They were like, you guys are timing something out for an entire year when the reality is you're going to have another Call of Duty out by that time next year and nobody's going to be playing this game. So in other words, this is a game mode that's only going to be touched by PlayStation users because come next year, everybody's going to jump onto either a different game or whatever you release at that time.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked.
What makes me think about that is, you know how Sony was really hesitant to get into the cross-plat. My thought is maybe that's how Activision and Call of Duty were able to sway Sony to do the cross-plat for that game and to have like out the gate, like no jumping through hoops, no exclusive, no, it's going to be like part of a season pass where you can play cross-plat.
Oh, so it was their bargaining chip to be like, look, give us the cross-play option and we'll give you this.
That's what I'm thinking.
That would make more sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But aren't there other games that are cross-plat that don't have that at all?
I think only Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite's the only one, but that was because of how much it grew. It exploded as soon as it launched.
But it was funny because the whole Fortnite cross-plat thing, before it was official, you could just do it accidentally. You could do it easily. I remember when it was still Save the World and not the Battle Royale. I played with Xbox and PS4 players at the same time. It was never officially supported or announced, but it just worked. Which goes to show it's like, why aren't more games cross-platinum if it involuntarily worked? So it just makes it seem like they're designed to work with each other. It's like either Sony or Microsoft or whoever that's like flipping the big no switch. It's like, no, we don't want that.
It was definitely Sony.
In this case, yeah, definitely Sony.
It's just always the different companies that want something out of it. Because no matter whatever that game platform may be, in this case, fucking Call of Duty, there's always going to be one person that always loses out more than the others and wants to throw a hissy.
Right. I'm like, for me, like I said, the decision maker for picking a console is the kind of games and the exclusives. Not so much like, oh, which one is going to have the better skin pack? Which one is going to have the better map pack that releases a week early based on the game itself? Like, it's always just what console is going to have this game that the other one is not going to have at all. Never the fucking DLC. Like, I never do anything expecting, oh my god, I can't wait to go spend more money on this fucking game that I just bought. So, like, I don't know why, or maybe we're missing something. Is this really a console pusher? Like, is it getting to the point now where it's like, it's no longer about the exclusives, it's about the kind of DLC that people are going to get their hands on to determine which console that they pick up?
I think that's really interesting, though, because what if it gets to that? Because that's what I'm starting to think is the only thing that's keeping consoles alive is what they have as far as exclusives. And then if we get more cross-plat support going forward, I just wonder if that's why Sony's afraid to do cross-plat, because they feel that that's going to be a way to phase their system out.
I mean, but they'll still have their exclusives. Sony still has their exclusives. Microsoft still has their exclusives. PC, I guess, maybe kind of sort of somewhere. But like, there are still, I mean, there's still exclusives for each thing. But maybe it's the gap is getting thinner and thinner, and then they're like, fuck it, what content? If you get it with us, you get this content. But if you get it with them, you're gonna get that content. Nobody cares about that. This is the content you want. Like, I don't know, that just feels really fucked. Like, if that's where we're moving.
I think that, at least for console, I think that's where they're moving.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see in the next year, especially with the price of, like, components on the PC realm and the price of consoles moving up and down, like, where people are going to start to migrate to. And if cross-plat comes out and is in full force, it'd be phenomenal, because everyone just chooses, like, how you're talking about.
Yeah, because next year we've got the new systems. And also, rumored at this point, the next set of NVIDIA cards will be coming out. Not rebranded like we had the 2070 and 2080 Supers or whatever the fuck. We're supposed to be getting the next versions of whatever cards. They're not numbered or anything yet. I forgot what the hell the code name was. But that's all coming out next year.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that super bullshit.
It's just rebranded of everything. It's like, oh, we're phasing this out. We have the Supers instead of the TIs or the TI Supers. And it's like, stop that. Just fucking, you have a number system, and then you come up with the TI version, and then you come up with the next card. Just keep it going that way.
It wasn't even like that. It was like, you know how Intel has locked CPUs and unlocked?
Yeah.
It's like that. They did that pretty much for that line. So They had locked GPUs, and then they came out with the Supers were unlocked.
Like, I skipped, because I'm still using a 1070. I skipped the 20s. I skipped the rebrands, like you just said, those that came out, skip those. They're weird off 16, whatever the fuck that came out after the RTXs. I was like, what is this? Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is this? So I skipped that. So I'm definitely jumping on for the next ones whenever the hell those come out. As long as there's nothing gimmicky, like, oh, this isn't an RTX, but it kind of performs. Shut the fuck up. What is your next card? It better be the 30 series or the 3 series or whatever you want to call it.
See, but I don't know how much of a leap they can do, because I mean, although it's not that big of a difference to like me, honestly speaking, but like with ray tracing, like what more are they gonna do for the next line so that it can differentiate itself just from being an RTX 2070?
Probably better ray tracing, which I don't know. I think it's a feature that's cool when you talk about it on paper. But who's really sitting there in the middle of a firefight admiring reflective details in the water when you should be paying attention to not getting shot and helping out your team?
Yeah, and most fucking competitive gamers turn that shit off because it's just a FPS killer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes the game look nice, but it's not required.
Hopefully they bring back an 11 gig SKU, because they didn't have any 11 gig GPUs this time around, unlike the 1080 Ti.
Yeah, like we'll get more gigs, we'll get more cores and stuff like that. I'm thinking about it more so for streaming, because I'm noticing single PC streaming with the 1070 is doable. But there are some issues, lag spikes here and there, or drop frames and whatnot. So I'm thinking about it that way, because I don't really feel like having the whole dual PC setup. So if I could just get the beefier card, I would have to look at it for that aspect to see what streaming would be like on that. Because I think the 20s are better for streaming, obviously, than the 10s would be. So I'm thinking it would just keep going and being better. So
that's the same way I see it. Because like I every game I play, I put down the settings. So obviously, I get competitive with it, and I like having more frames. So like the only thing I would want is just if the next gen stuff is gonna make it run better, run smoother, and be able to stream a lot easier or without those little problems, then that's the only time I'd probably put the money into it. Fuck, graphic cards are expensive.
How is your 1080 Ti handling these new games though?
Well, recently, when I updated the graphics card and I updated, I believe it was Gears. I started off in Gears. My GPU would randomly reset, so it would crash the game. It would do the whole blank, and then it wouldn't do it for any other game. But then, testing it out more yesterday when I was playing Ghost Recon, the game was crashing, but I don't know if it was the beta itself or if it was my actual graphics card fucking up.
Well, even like that may be a hardware thing rather than like the series limitation. Because my 1070, which is lower than your 1080, I haven't had any problems with games not being able to run or like getting substantially under 60 frames and shit. Like it's been across the board. Like I get under 60 frames in Borderlands, and so do the rest of you guys. We have our moments way above 60, and we have some moments under 60.
See, when I was playing Borderlands, it never crashed. It never had any issue. And I played on the highest I could play it on, but it all started happening when I last updated the graphics card.
Yeah, and I've crashed in Borderlands. Big has crashed in Borderlands. Boom, have you crashed at all in Borderlands?
I mean, I fell asleep while playing, but I don't remember crashing.
Yeah, see, I've never crashed in Borderlands, but recently, so before Gears wasn't crashing, but recently it has.
And so that could have been a driver, that could be the hard drive, hardware itself.
Yeah, so it could be a coincidence after I did the update and it's actually just the hardware. I don't know.
So do you think maybe it could just be that they need a patch for that the recent drivers that they sent to it?
I hope that's it. I hope it's not, my shit's dying, slowly dying.
Worst case scenario, you could probably just revert to the last set of drivers that were working.
Right.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my 1070 to die out. I mean, any moment. It's been fine, but I got it at launch. And shit, these came out in 2016?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're about 3 years. I mean, for 3-year-old hardware, they're not bad at all.
It's still, it's kicking. But like again, I'm definitely noticing like Borderlands, for instance. When I'm streaming, I automatically take like a 10 to 15 frame hit, and then the dips are more often. Micro stutters, all this other shit, and then the second stream goes off, performance jumps up. So.
Yeah, dude, before I got the 2070, I was rocking a 1063 gig.
Oh, you got the fucked one. Yikes.
Yeah, that was fucked. Oh
one of those mini cards?
No, so...
No, it wasn't a mini card, because initially, as you guys probably know why, after the fucking Nightmare build, I bought a pre-built because I didn't want to deal with it. And it came with a 1063 gig in it. Which it was cool for like the first couple of months because I was just playing like shit games, or we were actually Merc and I were playing a PUBG like before it was optimized, so it was just like potato graphics, so it was good for that. But whenever I tried to play anything else, it was just like it was worse than playing on a console, to be honest.
Yeah, so with that particular 1060, what they try to pull was, we're going to launch the 1060s with the 1070s and 1080s all at the same time. The OG 1060 came in with a generic 3 gig of onboard memory. And then they got called out for it maybe a couple months later, and then they released the proper one with 6 gigs right after it to be in line with the rest of that lineup. So they played everybody who purchased it off the bat, and then it was the exact same price. There was no difference in pricing.
That's fucked.
Yeah, dude. I'm so glad I got rid of that graphics card, man.
Yeah, I've always skipped the 60s in the NVIDIA lineups. It's always been the 70s I normally aim for. And then I remember the first 80 I got was a 680 years ago. And then this time around for the 1070 and 1080, the prices were just way too fucking high when these cards came out. So I opted for the 1070.
Mm-hmm.
See, but then that was me coming in like never like knowing about anything PC gaming.
So like the weird part is for that, I feel like that definitely does get a lot of people when they first start into any PC gaming experience. If they have no knowledge prior, they're kind of fucked. They don't have like the proper resources, or if they don't know when that's built a computer before, they usually line up and then put their money in the wrong places, and then they build something and then realize it's fucked because they have bottlenecks all over the place.
Yeah. That's why I'm kind of glad I built, or mostly built, my computer this year. So now I know, like, obviously I'm not going to upgrade for a very long time, but the next time I upgrade, I'm a little bit more prepared as to what I have to do and what I need to get. Yeah,
because like with this build in particular, when I first got it, I got literally the 770 i7 when it first came out, a Sabertooth motherboard when it first came out, so both of those were hella expensive, and then I skimped on the graphics card. And then the first thing I noticed when I started playing video games, I'm getting a severe fucking graphics card bottleneck, and then I was running a shit monitor, so it really didn't even make sense.
Yeah, this build I did same thing, 770K. When that had came out, I had bought one of the Asus boards that had just got announced with it, and the graphics card I had already bought before in my old build, but I knew that I was going to build this current build a couple months afterwards. So the 1070 like was in the old build, and that gave me a massive boost of life. And then I just threw it into this new build when I built the whole thing.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, I started off with an Alienware, like fucking size of an Xbox, one of those like pre-built that you can't modify.
Oh, those little ones?
Yeah.
They're trying to push for like the all-inclusive mini fucking gaming computers.
Yeah, and that was horrible. And I tried to play, that was around the time that DayZ was like really big, and everyone wanted to play fucking DayZ. And I was playing with friends, and like it was just so shit and ran so shitty that one day I just got so fucking mad, impulse bought, and I went and picked a build off of a PC Part Picker, and I went to Fry's, and I was like, I want everything on here. And I was just like, I want it now.
To be fair, DayZ ran like ass on super strong computers too, up until like maybe a year and a half ago, when you could actually get 60 frames and shit. Like, the game was horribly fucking optimized, and it was always like, oh, it's in beta. It's not beta, early access. Well, everything's early access, so it's okay. Early access.
Yeah, don't get me started about early access and that fucking scam.
Well, even with that though, it ran better on a newer computer. Like, it ran so fucking bad, and I was trying so hard to play it with my friend. So I went and bought that, and the first build was a 960. I think it was the overclocked edition. And to be honest, the 960 overclocked edition I had, kind of almost as good as this Ti. Sadly, like, it's kind of sad to say because the price difference, but and then I had an i5 in the computer, and it ran pretty good for a couple of months. But then, like, I started to notice that it just wasn't running as like I'd like, and that's when I started upgrading parts, and everything started running better. Then I used to get jealous of Rogue because he had 1080 from the get-go. And we'd be playing PUBG, and I'd look at his screen and look at my screen. We'd have like the same settings, and you could tell there's like those little details in the water, because I'm that guy that looks at the water while I'm in PUBG fucking running around. And I was just like, what the fuck? And then I noticed he had like an awesome realistic looking sun glare coming down on his character, and I'm like, I don't do that. What the fuck? That's when I started upgrading stuff.
So do you like stop and take a look at your reflection and shit in the middle of a game?
I do. Or like if the grass looks really nice, I'd lay in it and see if I look like I'm stealthy as fuck in it. I admired the map at least once before I turned the settings down.
I think it was Destiny that pissed me off. And that's why I decided to upgrade to the 2070. What
issues were you having with Destiny?
Oh my god, it was screen tearing like a motherfucker. And not to mention, I mean, I still get screen tearing because now instead of my computer being a potato, my monitor is actually bottlenecking my computer. But I was like, you can even ask Brown, because we were trying to run like a strike or whatever. I was looking at this one panel, and instead of it being like looking the way that it should, it was like bugging out and looking like super fucking weird.
It was like giving him heavy artifacts, like not even like a little bit. Imagine pixelation on your TV. That's exactly what it looked like.
And it was one fucking panel. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? And then like I think I only could play it in 1080 at medium. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? I could play Destiny on my PlayStation 4 like this.
Yeah, that was definitely fucked. Because I think I remember the entire situation. We went from everything from like looking at hardware accelerations to firmware to boot files to fucking what resolution he was playing in. And then the only fix that we can figure out for the time being was I think it was putting on VSync.
Yeah.
Turning off VSync in-game. So you had VSync on the monitor turned on, but VSync turned off on the game. And then changing the resolution to 1080 off of 2K, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which made no fucking sense.
Think of that while streaming too, just to get a fucking decent picture.
Oof.
I was like, because I didn't really trust the power supply, so I upgraded. I think it's a 650 watt Supernova by EVGA.
Mm-hmm.
So I upgraded that, and then I waited until holiday season, and then I got the 2070.
Speaking of which, I had to build a computer with that jank-ass power supply. I wanted to lose my fucking mind.
Oh, yeah. Because I gave that power supply to one of our friends at work.
Yeah, so...
I think that's like the one piece that I'd never skimp out on.
That's usually the one that you would tell everybody not to skimp out on.
Yeah.
So, like, when I used it for this kid's build, it literally had... it wasn't modular. Everything was plugged in, which is fine. The issue was that the length of the cables were built for the pre-built that he had prior.
Ooh.
So I couldn't cable manage whatsoever. The 4-pin that ran to the GPU for him?
Yeah.
Had to be run on the front because it wasn't long enough to run through the grommet, come out the back, and then run in and plug in. It was fucked.
Speaking of fucked,
Apex Season 3 now.
Speaking of fucked, what about Steady? You wanted to talk about how they like balance patches for single player games that have nothing to do with the way that the game runs, but kind of fucking over the players of the game.
Yeah, like, so Borderlands has been out for like, what, 2 weeks now? Going on its third week. And they finally came out with some patches. Like, everyone was having fun grinding out the this one mob boss that would spawn over and over and drop legendaries. And sure, on one hand, I get it. You don't want everybody to start getting everything that they want in the kind of game that's all about people getting everything they want, I guess. So they balance it. They nerfed the spawn rate on that. I guess people were leveling way too quick, so they nerfed the amount of XP you were getting for certain things. People started creating some ridiculous synergistic builds that were putting out a lot of DPS. They nerfed that too. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, why? Who's being hurt by this? Like, you're not having competitive multiplayer. You're having co-op multiplayer. Is it that somebody in the group of 4 felt like they weren't doing a good enough job and they cried about it? Like, I don't get why so much emphasis when there's other things you need to fix in your game. Like your DX12, you launched with a note that said, hey, you kind of might not want to run us at this because we're not really all too done building this part of the game like this.
I feel like it's bullshit, but it kind of makes sense. Just like similarly, shout out to that one dude that keeps on commenting, but we don't want to put timestamps in this because we want you to enjoy it for what it is. And that's kind of, even though, like I said, just playing devil's advocate, it's super fucked. Like, I don't understand it either. Like, we're having fun with the game. Why are you going to stop us from having fun with your game? Like, that's the way that I look at it.
Yeah, it kind of feels like, oh, you guys are having fun. Yes, but you're not having fun the way we want you to have fun. You're not having fun our way.
Yeah,
and it's super stupid.
Especially where there's no DLC yet. Everyone's essentially, it's been 3 weeks. The game's been out long enough. People are either on their second character, just finishing up their first, or even have more than that. Like, some people have 4 characters maxed already.
Right.
There's nothing else to do apart from grind out levels and try to get your perfect drop.
Yeah, and let's say you get your perfect build. There are things to do at the end, like the trials, which is basically just battlegrounds for you to test how badass your build is. You have these time limits, these time constraints, which is like, all right, if you beat it in 25 minutes left, that's the best you can do. And then with 20 minutes left, beat the boss, whatever the case is, which all centralizes around godlike builds. But then people build godlike builds, and you're like, no, you're going too far into your godlike build. Let me nerf this down a little bit. I don't get it. I would understand if it's a multiplayer game or with competitive multiplayer, and you're gonna fuck it up, and people are going to go away from the game and they're not going to come and buy your season passes. And I see how a company could lose out financially if they don't balance it. Perfect example, Destiny 2. They waited way too long to fucking add the multiplayer, the matchmaking for the raids to the point where I don't touch the fucking game anymore. And I'm sure there's plenty of people that feel the same way, which means I'm not coming back, which means I'm not buying your season pass. But I don't see this happening for a kind of game where there is no competitive multiplayer. Like, oh, I'm not going to come back and get new loot and new gear for new people in your future patches because I was able to get it easily the first time around. I don't get it.
So, I mean, one funny part about it, so if people don't know, Flak was one of the heavier DPS characters in the game. The nerf happened to Flak more so than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
As a result, there's already a new Flak build that does more damage with the nerfs they added. So they nerfed him, took away some of the talents, and people went, oh, okay, we'll take those talents off, add these talents on, we'll change this gun to this gun, and now they're doing more damage than they did before.
And then somebody was able to synergize a much more badass build.
So, like, no matter what you change,
patch
it's
inbound.
Still going to find something. Yeah, exactly. Like, someone's going to repatch it. They're going to re-hotfix it for no reason. Like, some of them make sense. If you're going to constantly just keep farming the same boss consistently because he has access to the entire loot pool, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's certain balances and a good thing. Like, oh, you guys are doing this one thing that's not fun in order to get this. That's our bad. My bad. This item can now drop more frequently in other areas or whatever the case is. That's cool. You know, that's good balance. Not, oh, you designed this one build that wrecks the fuck out of everything. Therefore, we're gonna fix it. We don't want you to have fun like that.
Fuck, dude. I don't know.
That's kind of why, to be honest, like, looter shooters are cool, but it just feels like you're finding something cool, and then Big Brother's coming in like, yeah, no, fuck you.
Yeah, you're not doing it our way. You're having fun in a way that we didn't intend for you to have fun.
Yeah, so that's why, like, looter shooters are cool for a little while, but then that mentality kind of starts getting on my nerves, and then I just fucking lose interest.
Yeah, somebody like looter shooters is my favorite game style of everything across the board. As someone that enjoys this archetype, where they come in and they hotfix shit consistently, like, what was it? They made 3 hotfixes? No, 5. 5 hotfixes within the first 2 weeks. Son, are we not going to address the fact that your game's still not optimized? And then if you don't go into like system settings and double check everything and fix shit on that end, you're not fucking up frames. We're just, why take the approach that Anthem had of not fixing the game to run optimally and then just hotfixing people that have no fun?
Yeah, that was another thing.
Frame.
Anthem definitely focused on, oh, you guys have an optimized route on how to get our whatever the fuck currency. Hold on a second. Let's get mad at you guys for that shit, but not address the fact that the game runs at like what 100% CPU and GPU all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Not only to mention that, but console players are having issues as well, and they can't even they can't go into the background and fix things the way that we can as people that play on PC.
I found out today that you could just get rid of the goddamn video files for the loud ear-bursting intro videos. You could just rename the files, and there you go. You don't got to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, you can get rid of the intro files, the loading file you can get rid of, so you got faster load times.
And it's also annoying that you can't skip. Like, I feel like this is them saying, this is our vision, and we want you to play it the way we envisioned it and the way we made it. So you can't skip cutscenes. You can't rush dialogue along. You can't rush, like if you have to wait for a character to walk and catch up to you. Whatever the case is. That's irritating, but it's acceptable for your first playthrough. If I'm on my 3rd, 4th playthrough, and if I'm making a secondary character even, why the fuck do I have to still sit there and go through all that shit?
I feel like that's going to affect people wanting to fucking make more than one character. You're going to sit there and be like, I don't feel like fucking sitting there through all that dialogue just to fucking make another character.
I agree.
Yeah, so like one beautiful thing that I figured out today when I got my FPS to be correct, because before I was running like 55 FPS while streaming, and I normally play every other game at like 100 FPS. I can also remove all the cutscenes. I figured out a way, and I did it immediately.
Oh.
Like, as soon as I finished the game, like, literally just now, like, I'm moving all those cutscenes out, taking them out.
Is it what they have the cutscenes are pre-rendered in the video files as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you just renamed those as well, and it just fucking like, all right, moving along.
Yep, exactly.
Fucking great.
Yeah, so, like, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can do it with, like, preloading files. You can move it to a different folder, but that's something that only PC players can do. The people that are on console are fucked.
Right.
They can't further optimize it. They can't skip cutscenes. They can't do shit.
Like I said, somewhere along the line, they think that this is the way to do it. I get it. They have their vision. Video games are art, but it's not like fine art, I think, where it's like, this is my vision and you're paying me for my vision kind of thing. It's consumer based. It's commercial. So we ultimately should have like the fucking input on that kind of stuff that we want. I'm sure they'll address it in a patch, but it really is a big oversight to not be able to skip a goddamn line of dialogue.
While we're on the subject of shooter looters, I do like how they have Ghost Recon now. With like the power levels and the loot. So the loot's colored now. I don't know if there's going to be like a purple or gold or anything like that, like legendary stuff. But I did notice that they had the regular, they had the blue, and they had green. And I like it. I like that it turned into a shooter looter, and it's also got that that feeling of like Splinter Cell, where you kind of want to do like a stealth mission just to make it easier. Like and then from what I noticed on the beta, which I don't know why it was in there, because you can't go past level 48 as far as power level, but it goes up to like, it shows like there's an area that's up to 150 power level, and me and Rogue tried to take it on, and I swear we got like one hit like crazy. But I like the fact that they have parts on the map where you need a specific gear level to get to. It just kind of makes it more of a reason to grind and collect weapons and dismantle. And then I like the attachments. I don't know if you guys ever played the last one, like the gunsmith.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like that you can go and put attachments on like that. And they made it where the clothing is like more accessible. You know, you could dress your guy up pretty. You get creative with it. Like it's almost like trying to think what game it was. Like YouTubers will go and like make the character look like a movie star or something, or like the Punisher. And then you can actually kind of do that yourself with your own character. So, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be grinding the shit out of it.
Yeah, that was definitely like one of my withdrawals with this game entirely, because I did pre-order Wildlands. I played Wildlands for a long time. And then when I saw the trailer for it, it literally just looked like a reskin of Wildlands. So yeah, I'm glad that people are having fun with it, but I'm still on the fence. I'm going to give it a couple months before I even think about purchasing the game.
Yeah, Wildlands was good. At least like in the beta stages. When I played it in the betas, they were really fucking fun. And it wasn't until you got the full game where you realize the shortcomings, like, oh shit, this is the same mission type I did in the beta. Just that this cactus looks a little different, and there's a couple different trees over here. It really got repetitive super fucking quick. And my fear is that this game may be the same way. But again, that's going to, like Big said, that's definitely something to monitor once it comes out, once you start seeing playthroughs and you start hearing reviews and stuff on it.
I think it does have some aspects same to the last one, like with the whole cartel and like the enemies like strolling along the road and stuff and on the side of the road, which I guess to me isn't too bad because it still has that open world aspect and you still got to go and find attachments and whatnot. But it feels better, I guess you could say. Not necessarily better. Like the movement is different now. Like they're really trying to make it more cover based. And then when you do PvP, they have that Ghost Wars. I don't know if you guys played it in the last one, but it's actually really fun. And the way the terrain is and like the graphics and all that, like you can actually hide in the grass and sit there and someone could easily overlook you. So it has a really fun competitive side to it too.
Patch inbound for balancing.
Yeah, probably. That's what I was thinking about too when you guys were talking about patches, because I was saying like, I bet you they're gonna probably do something real fucking stupid in a patch, and they're gonna make me stop playing the fucking game. Well, I don't want that to be the case at all.
Would you compare it to more like the last sub game, or would you compare it to Division?
Well, yeah, it's kind of both, to be honest. Like it still has some aspects of Wildlands, but they're pushing it more towards being a loot shooter, like a lot more. Like you get loot, you get specific weapons per mission, and it kind of just you start going for a gear level. So I'm assuming they're gonna have some kind of maybe similar to a raid in there somewhere, especially with there being a power level thing going on. But there was no they didn't show any of that in the beta though. They just showed the power levels and that one area that was 150 gear score. So I'm assuming they're gonna have something implemented to keep the game going.
My thing is I feel like the majority of the Ghost Recons are just reskins of Far Cry. And it's kind of like in my mind, I don't know if it's just me with like single player Ubisoft games. It's like Assassin's Creed was like the dopest shit when the first one came out. Then I played the second one, like, oh, this is cool, but it feels like the first one. Like the third one felt like the second one. Then it's like the same thing with Far Cry. Like I had I forgot which Far Cry it was. I know it was on the Xbox 360, but I played two of them that were back to back, and it was just like I was playing the same fucking game. That's why it's cool if they find a way to add Rainbow Six Siege type feel to it as far as the PvP is concerned. But for the single player, I feel like it's just all the same shit, dude. Like you go, you take a point, you do some cool sniping, and then you get tired of the sniping. Then you do some stealth shit, you get tired of that, and then it's just like a repetitive game until it finishes.
No, I can definitely understand that. Like where it's just constantly grinding to get your own thing, but like that's one of those things with like looter shooters, like just trying to get the perfect roll, like the perfect gun, but then on the opposite hand, then you're scared of like, oh, what if they nerf it?
Like I'm definitely looking forward to trying it, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't know, like I don't have high hopes for it. It just feels like I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just scared based on like my expectations for Wildlands.
Like we need a new game type because it's like anything that's a FPS is either, and I don't know if there's just me being like a downer or whatever, but it seems like everything that's coming out is either a looter shooter or a battle royale.
So we are pulling away from the battle royale a little bit, but I mean you still have your competitive shooters. Like for me personally, the COD multiplayer was a breath of fresh air, and it's weird to attach that phrase to a fucking COD game. Really, really fucking fun.
That's why, honestly, I think after I get Call of Duty, I'm not buying shit for a while. I'm gonna be on that game for a while.
Yeah, for the rest of the year, it's gonna be Borderlands. It'll be the Outer Worlds, which is basically space Fallout. Definitely a fan for that kind of shit. And Call of Duty.
Oh, I lied. There's going to be some Doom sprinkled in there too. Doom Eternal and Doom 64.
But those are games you can do like in your off time. Like, how much time do you see yourself sinking into those kind of things consecutively? I don't know, dude.
Because that's what I thought about. Because the only reason I bought Doom 1 and 2 is because they were like, I think they were $20 for the both of them. But I've fucking put some hours into both of those games already.
I could definitely see putting a lot of hours on the competitive side of Call of Duty, or like, because the fact that we can play with everyone now because it's crossplay.
Yeah,
it's just you're gonna constantly be able to play with your buddies and like kick ass.
That's gonna be fun. I can't fucking wait, dude.
I'm super stoked. I'm actually excited for Call of Duty, and I have not said that in a long time.
Yeah, I saw the single player trailer this week, and I was like, man, even this looks fucking really good too.
I don't know. I don't even remember. For me, Call of Duty is just fucking PvP 100%. I don't even know when's the last time I played one.
Oh, I used to be obsessed with the story and the trailers they would make that had like Eminem song on it. I used to get all hyped up off that shit. I like this story. I enjoyed the story, and I think the last story I enjoyed was probably Modern Warfare 2. After that, I was like, fuck this. I hate Black Ops' story. Cannot stand Black Ops' story.
I feel like, but then again, that's when the quality went from like grade A to like grade Z.
And the sad part is it wasn't just the multiplayer that went to shit.
Yeah.
The story did too. Like, it just all fell apart.
But I mean, hopefully, Activision, please don't fuck this up. Oh my god. I feel like we need a good one after all of the fuck ups that they did with this franchise.
I mean, you've already got the 1 year exclusive content, so.
I mean, fair enough, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't get a chance to chime in on that, and I get how that could be a very one. I can see how that could be the deal for them to be able to do the crossplay, and I also can see how it's kind of a power move for Sony to keep people. So, like, Steady, I know you don't see people buying consoles just because of exclusives and stuff.
No, I see them buying it for exclusive games, but I didn't think exclusive content would be a console.
So, yeah. So, I feel like it is, and the reason I say that is because me personally, around the time that I did like COD or wanted to get back into COD, I obviously, the two reasons for that was, one, I'll get the content first. And I bought the Black Ops 2 PS4 when I had a PS4. And the reason I did that was, one, the content. I get the content first. And on top of that, in my little, fancy world of dreaming of doing anything competitive, PS4 has all the competitive, rights to it, Like all the YouTubers, all the people that follow YouTubers and the esports, they're obviously gonna go for the PS4, and they're gonna do that because it's in the competitive scene. It's kind of like that's what is, cool with the esports area now. Like you got YouTubers who were, as soon as they switched over to PS4 as far as the competitive scene, there were so many streamers who didn't have a PS4 and got one just because of that. Just because they switched over, because everything's gonna be exclusive as far as DLC, they'll get it first. And
so
if you're
you think
a hardcore
this decision markets more towards the YouTube and streaming community rather than the average player?
Yeah, because every YouTuber, every person that is doing that kind of entertainment, they want the DLC first. If they have to sit there and wait a week or two for DLC, then someone else, everyone's basically their competition. So if someone else is able to show that content 2 weeks ahead of them, they're kind of, they're behind on keeping up with their stuff and their fan base.
Right.
And people are going to be like, oh, well, I'm watching this guy because he's got the content. He's the one to entertain me with something new, while this guy's still sitting there playing multiplayer on the other console, not playing on a new map, not doing this or that.
I think it's both, to be honest. Because for anybody that's like a fucking like really crazy Call of Duty head, like that would be a way to sell it.
Yeah, anybody who has like that, like a love for something, like say Call of Duty, like they're gonna sit there and be like, man, I can't wait to play this fucking map, and like everyone's playing before them, and it'll drive you crazy. It's almost like you pre-ordered, like say there's some like fucking awesome ass sneakers, bro, and you're sitting there getting patient because you want it, and some other people are getting it before you, and it doesn't come in. You know what I mean? Like that feeling of like that urge of like, man, I want it now. I want to be the first to have it, or you know what I mean? Shit, anytime I order a fucking package and it's coming from Amazon, I fucking sit there and go nuts.
Same.
I'll be sitting there checking. I'll sit there and check the fucking notifications. It's like, it's still not shipped yet, bitch. Stop signing in and checking.
I think that's just our generation, though.
Yeah, we want that instant gratification. And especially with Amazon, I figure it's like, you motherfuckers up the price like every other year. So, yeah. I want my shit to teleport into my house. Let's go.
Fair enough.
But I mean, it's just weird that like we foam at the mouth because we want this exclusive content, but on the other hand, we also get really mad at vendor exclusive content from like, oh, buy this at Best Buy, get this, buy this at Target, get like shit like that. Like we hate that, but this is almost like the same shit.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie, I like that. Like Gears of War did that shit a lot.
So you were the guy that was like buying stock in GameStop because you wanted to go
or buying
or
buying on Amazon when someone would sell the cards, codes or whatever for it.
Why are you trying to let him feed into your bullshit, Steady?
I tried. Why? I tried to see
why
if we can do the GameStop talk. But
no, for real though, I found the segue. I was I was actually at work doing this. I was looking up like to see if they had any of like the special editions left at GameStop, and they had one with the night vision goggles. I was like super tempted to pull the trigger, but then I remembered I wasn't 14 anymore, so I was like, yeah, nah, son, I'm not gonna spend all this money on this shit. But I feel like it's cool, dude. Like they have like they have that's like the hub where you can get like all the dumb exclusive shit that like if you're a kid, like you can get night vision goggles like you're in the fucking game. That's fucking dope, dude. And then I'm pretty sure they're gonna have like, well, I don't know honestly, but it would be cool if they were gonna have like a midnight release with the tournament, like how they used to do back in the day.
Damn, Big's not biting at all.
Nope. I'm gonna drink my beer and vape.
Not gonna lie, I do miss those little tournaments they used to have. Like they had one for Gears of War and they gave us pizza. Good job, GameStop.
Dope, dude. Yeah.
Oh my god! All right.
I don't know if that was like localized to you because we never had that by the GameStop by me.
I think, well, I don't know, dude.
I know the GameStops around here would do the midnight release. And it'd be like an event in terms of like maybe spin a wheel, but they were not giving out no fucking free food around here.
Yeah, same. Like it was midnight release and then it was very limited. Like it wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah, like pick up your game, talk to a couple of people and get the fuck out.
They had like they had like where they would decorate the whole store. They would have like tournaments and shit. I've never been around for like free food and shit, but I know they always used to have like dope ass tournaments. They would have like cool decorations around. This is like cool when you're a kid and you're like hyped about a fucking dope ass game, and then you go to GameStop and they have like all this dumbass shit decorating the store, and then they have like that's why maybe that's why there's a different opinion between you guys, Brown specifically, and me with GameStop. Because like whenever I think back about GameStop, it's like when I was a kid, like wanting to fucking get the game, and then I go to like a midnight release, and then they had like all this cool shit, and they were like, at least around me, they were like, the employees were cool as fuck, and they weren't like super shady. But I mean, obviously now being older and like working retail and kind of getting to realize what goes around in the background, I get where you're coming from too, or how they have like worse than shitty fucking business practices. But I guess I just can't get that vision out of, just like Toys R Us, dude. Toys R Us was the shit. I can't get those visions out from all of the dope times that I had there.
Yeah, I agree. I'm in my 30s, and I still used to
Goddamn.
like, I still used to fucking like get excited to go to Toys R Us and just walk around and look at shit. And I remember with my ex, we went because I had I had ordered something for pickup at Toys R Us. And when I went over to go see her, she was like, "Oh, what are we doing today?" I was like, "Oh, we can do whatever you want, but we got to go stop off at Toys R Us real quick because I got to go pick something up." And she was like, "You picking something up for like a baby shower or something?" I was like, "Nah, I'm picking something up for me." And just like, she just like judgmentally put her head down, and she was like, "So I'm spending my Saturday afternoon in Toys R Us." And I just looked at her like dead faced, and I was like, "Yeah, for like 5 whole minutes. What the fuck?"
I don't fucking know, dude. Like, because honestly, like the GameStop by us and even the Toys R Us, like I used to live in the city, and then we moved to deep suburbs, like damn near fucking, well, actually farm country. The GameStop had their midnight release. It was limited to like a couple titles, and it wasn't every like early release. So if it was like the hottest game, and it was only like maybe 3 of them a year, they didn't do anything special with the store. It was essentially like, here's your game, get out. And then with the Toys R Us, it was literally open for, I want to say like 2 years, and then Toys R Us went bankrupt, and we never saw it again. So I don't know. I just might have missed that entire phase.
I think that local area of yours probably just isn't as active as ours, so that's probably why.
Yeah, like we didn't have shit.
Because even in the city, I had fun times at fucking GameStop, and in the suburbs. And although I do think the suburbs goes a little bit further, like that's probably why Boom's ever had like the free food stuff. That one was in the suburbs.
Yeah, it's got to be
like over here in
localized
Algonquin, which around here you got Harry D. Jacobs, which is a big ass high school. So there's definitely the customer base, and then you got fucking Dundee Crown. Yeah, all these, like, this area is just full of young people, and I feel like that's probably why they have that customer.
Yeah, the GameStops around here, I guess, were the non-gamers that all worked there and didn't know shit about gaming, which is fine.
It was the tabletop gamers.
No, none of that. Like, I was talking about the people that would work there. Like, you could tell like it was a job for them, which is fine. You know, like it's whatever. But there was no real talking shop. And then the 40-year-old that I don't know why he's not at work, but he's just always there trying to talk to like everybody else about games. That's most of the GameStops around here were like that. It just felt really fucking weird.
That is really fucking weird.
The smaller mom and pop shops, that's a different story. I'd walk in, buy a game, and I wouldn't leave till like an hour later because everybody's just there having a good time talking shit.
Yeah, that was more so for us.
That's wild because there's like, I think, well, mine is one that's like deep in the city, but there's like 2 that I could think of specifically where it's just like the mom and pop shops are like, they're just like, if you ask them a question, they're like, they have an attitude. They just want you to get the fuck out of their store. Like, why are you asking me these dumbass fucking questions? Like, just, you come here, buy what you want, and get out.
You buy now?
That was GameStop for me, dude. That was literally GameStop for me. If you weren't spending money, the manager would literally walk out and tell you to leave.
Oh, shit. Yeah, so the mom and pop shops are definitely around here. Like, that's where you would go to get your games early. I remember, like, right down the block, the dude would be like, look, you know, we have the games, like, 3 or 4 days early, but if, like, you can't buy it on credit card if it's going to be, like, if we sell it to you early, you got to do it cash. And I was like, all right, cool, be right back.
That's some dope inner city mom and pop shit. Because when I, like, back, like, but then again, it's like, there's no mom and pop shops anymore, so you can't really do that. I'm thinking like maybe early mid 2000s. That was for everything. Fucking because shoe releases were crazy back then too. And there was this one dude, like the store's closed now, but he would tell us like, you can buy the shoes 2 weeks early. You have to pay cash. And like, I remember like, I guess for whatever, somebody like snitched on him or whatever, but you had to leave the boxes there too. Oh. And then on release, then you'd be able to pick up the boxes.
That's not bad.
It was like, there's like all types of shit that used to go on.
I feel like that's a fucking flipper's dream right there.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like, that's what I'm saying. Even though it's corporate as fuck and like they're trying to do all these weird restructurings, that's like the last brick and mortar hub where you can go and like bullshit with people about games and stuff. Even though the world's kind of like shifting towards being closed off and not talking to people, I think it's kind of dope to have like-minded people in one spot just talking about games and shit. Just like how before with shoes, I don't know, I'm pretty sure you guys have never camped out for shoes, but like late 2000s, mid 2000s, just bring a fucking chair, put it in front of the store, and then sit and bullshit with people until the shoes come out. Probably never see that person again ever in life, but for that like 4 or 5 hours, that was like one of your homies. You just fucking chopping it up for a couple hours.
I mean, I get it. Like, there were times I'd go to, like, I'm going to work and shit on Saturdays, and in front of, like, the sneaker stores or the clothing stores, you'd see long lines, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you people waiting for? And then, like, eventually it dawned on me, I was like, is this for a fucking sneaker? And, like, I guess I didn't put an association. Like, I knew we would do it for games, people did it for phones and shit like that, but it never dawned on me that people were out there lining up ahead of time for sneakers and shit. Like, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, dude. I remember specifically, like the last time I took it, because Saturday's shoe day. So there's a shoe release every Saturday from every brand you can think of. And it was a Saturday before Christmas. I took it off and that was freezing my ass off, dude. I think I was out there from like 4 until 11:30 in the morning. And it was like fucking snowing. There was like a little bit of frozen rain, but it was cool, man. Cause I was just like hanging out and talking shit. And I feel like that obviously they don't do that anymore because of like how dangerous it gets at those releases. But that's just something that the next generation is going to miss out on.
I mean, I get it. It's an evolution with time, I think. Like there are plenty of things that we have now and we think it's a great thing. That doesn't happen anymore like older generations used to have. So, I mean, gaming will still keep going forward. There's still going to be venues and ways that people can, like-minded individuals can communicate with each other. Like I said, Reddit, there's a fucking Reddit for everything. Everything and anything. Reddit exists. Like, it's not in person, but definitely there will still be a way for you to communicate with people that think the same way.
I feel like for every time there's a silence, that's where like Corn Dog was supposed to talk.
Yeah,
just say something.
Leave all those. leave
the pauses. Like, what's that for? Like, oh, Corn Dog's gonna fill them up later. Don't worry about it.
Just put that in the fucking YouTube video
file.
Yeah, missing a fucking Corn Dog audio.mp3.
So why do you guys have these long gaps in this one? It's in memory for Corn Dog. Couldn't make it this time.
So
are you guys really going to be playing Apex when Call of Duty's coming out?
I still am. I still very much enjoy the game. It's going to include a different map, a different character, new guns. So it's going to be interesting to see. Like,
it's definitely something to throw in to mix things up. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely something. It's good. It's good. It's something to definitely jump back into, dedicate one of the streams to it, or even start off playing it and then branch off to something else. You know, like we could jump in, we could play Apex, warm up a little bit, and then hop over to Ground War or something else and call it and have some fun.
Yeah, that's true.
The second Call of Duty comes out, I'm fucking deleting Apex Legends.
God damn, dude.
So, I mean, that does kind of like lead to a different question then. So, as all of us as streamers here, it puts us in a weird predicament because if we start to cycle games off too frequently, it's going to avoid the people that only came for that game type and keep the people that only come for the content, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you just silo yourself off into, for instance, Call of Duty, you're going to build an entire user base on it. And then when you want to play something different because you're a little bit bored and drained of it, like, you're going to fuck your entire viewer base up.
My channel's fucking dead. I'm just fucking grasping at straws here. Let's be honest.
My number one fucking fan.
He says it, but we all feel the same way. I think about all of our channels in a way. It's like I don't know. Like I think I do it because I'm enjoying what I do, and sure, I definitely want anybody that's watching to enjoy what's happening as well. But it's got to be 50-50. If I'm bored of a game, but you're here for that game, there are thousands of other streamers that are still streaming this game. By all means, you can go and watch them. But if I'm switching games, I'm switching games. I'm going to do what's going to keep me awake and keep me entertained to then entertain you guys.
Yeah, like, it's super fucked. Like, so I started up building my entire stream off of Diablo and what was the other game? Actually, Apex. Diablo and Apex were my two highest, like, viewer counts. I was averaging, like, 15 to 18 viewers on both of those games. And then when I go to play Borderlands, I got 2 fucking people watching. And it's a game I like. To play. And
there's a lot of streamers I know that constantly talk about that. I know a streamer that he was religiously a Warframe streamer only, and then he branched out to other things, and his channel has suffered viewership and subs and all that stuff. And it's like, shit, man. Like, there's no game in the history that I've ever been gaming that I can play only. Like, just, I play this one game only and that is it. I can't fucking do it. I can clock in hours and thousands of hours in a game, but never to the point where it's like, I don't play anything else. This is all I play. I can't do it.
Not even VR chat?
I mean, if it was back in the day and it was like fucking high school big, it would be World of Warcraft all day. I can play that game for hours without getting bored of it. The issue now is, like, I'm not as competitive as I once was. Like, I'm not doing it for sponsorships for anything. My first sponsorship with World of Warcraft was like a free Razer mouse, and I kept it. That's the one I've had for years. Unfortunately, it broke at work, but
because it was a Razer mouse.
Fuck you. That's my favorite mouse in the world.
What's that supposed to mean, guy?
Razer's trash.
I still use Razer.
How is Razer trash? What is this based off of?
Fucking trash.
Their mice is the favorite thing in the world. Like, I'll never go to anything else apart from Razer for mice.
Logitech all day.
Do you own stock in Logitech? Like I don't get it.
I actually have had probably like 5 Logitech mouses over the course of trying all the mouses out. Mice, whatever.
They're handing out hooked on phonics as well with the mice, or
that's why.
Shut up.
Yeah, so like the mouse that I have, and it's still in my living room because I'm still trying to fix it. It's, if I were to rebuild it and resell it for the 4th time now, if I were to rebuild it, it would be on like Amazon. That mouse is still worth like $800. Like, it's insane because it's just that good.
I don't know. I have a $30 Logitech mouse, and it's
which
Razer
Razer mouse was it?
It was the OG Razer Naga.
the
one with the
12
2
button
mice.
or the 6 button?
It was the 17 button,
right? Oh,
you use that for FPSs?
I would not use it. I didn't play FPS on computer. That was when I was still playing console and PC for different shit.
Fucking people use Nagas for FPS.
I have a Naga now that I use for FPS.
I have a Naga that I use, a 7-button one.
God damn it.
Wait, why does that matter?
Difference to you?
Matters to me, bitch.
With it.
No, Merc is one of those people where it's like, well, this guy said that I need to be using this DPI with this brand, and then I'm going to be godly in this game. And it's like, or you could just use what you got and call it a day.
If it's not a Logitech G50, I don't want it.
Hey, now.
You're a rock star?
I'm mad you both said that shit at the same time.
And we had different lines. Oh, fuck, dude. But no, like, it's like, I'm not as competitive as I once was. So, like, if I'm playing WoW, I'm playing with the wife, and we're taking our time and having fun.
Like, I always give Merc shit when we play any kind of shooters, and somebody comes along and they say something, and he just instantly comes out, "What's your DPI set at?" Like, what the fuck? Do you have the magic number guy that's going to equal headshot?
Yes, I do.
What's that, Merc? Let the crowds know.
Dude, and then he's
400.
Like, oh my god, my favorite thing. He's like,
Shot?
Yes, I do.
My DPI. After every fucking match. Like, dude, just shut the fuck up already. You missed a shot.
400 DPI is the magic aimbot fucking DPI to have, apparently.
The people that fuck with their DPI, though, never get used to it.
Right. So, Mark, if I set my DPI to 400, right, I'll win every game ever that I play from now on?
No, bitch, I never said that, you little stuck-up cunt.
Wow.
You're the one that wants everyone to play with Logitech shit.
Logitech or go home.
I
400 DPI.
had to play with Logitech. I do like some of the Corsair.
You're using a Razer mouse?
Pathetic.
As he sits there with his top hat and his monocle. It's all good, guy.
And his fucking Logitech poster.
Merc, you good, dude?
Oh, no, I'm not paying.
I don't have to deal with this shit. Good day.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how I play. So
Fucking yikes.
All right, goddamn. All right. So you're saying that you're going to be playing Apex Season 3 with a Logitech mouse set to 400 DPI, right?
No.
Oh, Apex gets different numbers? Apex. Oh, you're abandoning it too?
Yeah.
I feel like, so, me with Apex, that was just like a filler till everything good came out.
Yeah, to be fair, you hated Apex. You've been very vocal about how you feel about Apex.
Fuck Apex. It's fucking stupid. Fuck Apex. It's dumb. It's fucking Battle Royale. It's so fucking stupid.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say the game's got some shit where it leaves us pissed off, but out of all the Battle Royales, it definitely was fun and entertaining. It still is.
No, well, I think my favorite was PUBG, like before it popped off and it went to all these other platforms. That was like when Battle Royale was fucking dope. It's like, it's that thing, dude, where like obviously, I know PUBG wasn't the first fucking Battle Royale, but I'm saying somebody gets the formula right, and then everybody has to fucking dip their hand in the bucket and take it. It's like, dude, just fucking leave it for what it is. Although, I gotta admit, the Call of Duty one was pretty cool. It's just like, still, like, does everybody need a fucking Battle Royale?
To compete? And I get it. Everybody wants to get their hand on that pie because that was the hottest fucking thing out for a while. And they're like, we want a piece of that money, so let's fucking do it. And I find it fucking funny that the game that slapped that shit together so quick is like the leading fucking Battle Royale still. Fortnite.
Yeah, but that's because Fortnite's got to the kids with all that stupid shit. Like they found a way to be hyper, like, crazy relevant, almost to a fault. And that's how they got the kids, which, I mean, shit. Glad it's working for them.
This is normally where we would have our corn dogs conundrum, but we don't because he's not around today. All right, so we could start wrapping it up. That works.
Okay. All right. So thank you guys so much for checking us out on the latest The Other Controller podcast. We are on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, you guys do get it a little bit earlier than Anchor or Spotify. And if you're watching it, please do hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell so you're notified every time we post a new podcast. Anyways, this is Boom, Big Boy Brown, Merc, and Steady. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Have a great week.